Roger, you're playing Dan Evans.
Yeah.
What do you remember from that 2016 match at Centre Court? What do you recall of that occasion?
Well, to be honest, I remember playing well, and I remember the match more when I played against him at the Hopman Cup a couple of years ago, because I think it was my first match back after the knee issue, so that was my first match. So clearly that was in some ways memorable. It was our first or second match, I don't remember, but it was a good match. I like the way he plays, you know. He's got all the shots and likes to take chances, takes the ball early, so it's nice to see him back on the tour as well, and I'm happy for him that he won his first round.
How are you feeling tonight out there? Pretty routine win?
I think I was hitting the ball really well, so yeah, look, I think I protected my serve well, didn't allow Dennis really to get into my service games very often. You know, I was always in the lead as well, so obviously that helps. I can free swing maybe a little bit more, but at the same time, I think you know, I had to do some defense, some offense. It was a bit of everything, but I'm very happy with my first round. To be honest, it's been great. I felt the ball really good.
Roger, if you had to narrow it down and say, oh, I don't know, one or two things that you really appreciate about Andy, what would you say? How would you answer that?
What I appreciate about Andy? Yeah, I mean, first thing that comes to mind, it's somebody that you know, will try everything on the court, you know, to beat you, and I appreciate that, you know, because within the rules and with whatever he does, you know, with his fighting spirit, with his tactics, with slicing, you know, defense or attacking play, or even serve and volley or chip in charge, whatever it is, he'll do it all, you know, and he'll leave everything out there, and I feel there's no regrets for him after losing a game, and I like that about him, because I can't stand it when guys go into the match and they're just content of, you know, I do my thing, and if it doesn't work, well, so be it. He's not like that, and yeah, he's one of the great retrievers we had in our sport, and he's a big guy, you know, to do that. So he's more from the modern generation with Novak together, two guys that move like smaller guys. And yeah, carrying the weight of Britain on his shoulders, you know, for British tennis, that was not easy for him. And I think you could see that it wasn't always simple at times for him. And I think at the end, all of us, also the players, were extremely happy that he did end up winning Wimbledon and Davis Cup and Olympic gold and all these things, even though Olympic gold went through me, you know, but I don't know, he had to really fight for it and earn it. Like world number one, he gave it all he had. After Novak's incredible start to the season, he had a sick finish, you know, so there's a lot to admire about Andy, how he went about it.
Rafa earlier kind of expressed his concern that the guys on the Players' Council hadn't gone to him to kind of get his opinion on the kind of changing of Chris Kermode. Do you think there's a bit of a worry that there's a little bit insular, the Players' Council at the minute? They're not maybe going out and hearing points of view from the rest of the tour, particularly experienced guys like you and Rafa, because you were saying you hadn't really heard much about it either.
Well, I mean, I knew about it, and I really tried to be interested, you know, to be quite honest, because if I want to voice my opinion, I need to know. So I care, but it's hard, you know, especially through the off season, to stay in touch with everybody. And the problem with Rafa as well, he's been away a little bit, you know, through injury at the end of the year. So all of a sudden you realize, well, Rafa was not around that much, you know, as well. So somebody has to call him, and you know, for somebody to call Rafa, it's always a bit like, oh, I don't want to bother the guy, you know. So I think it's tricky, but somebody needs to reach out to him, no doubt about it. For that, we have player representatives. Look. Now, whatever happened, but I anyway wanted to speak to Novak a little bit about the whole situation, and I also definitely want to speak to Rafa now that he's back on tour and we're here and we're playing the same day, so I would like to meet him on an off day and just get his take now that he actually voiced his opinion about about the tour, and it's nice to see that he cares, regardless if it's positive or negative. I think it's always good when top guys care, and I know he's one of those guys. I was on the council with him, and I get along with Rafa really well, and so I do also with Novak. So I just want to get the take and see how we can move the sport into the right direction moving forward, you know, and then not there is any miscommunication and groups being built, you know, in some shape or form. I don't know what exactly has been going on in that regard, but look, it's a big decision making time right now, and I think it's important that maybe also Rafa, Novak and me, we get together. Yeah.
Roger, I don't think you faced the break point today. Is your serve at career best?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going very well. I think I can trust my second serve in particular. When you trust your second serve, you can go after your first serve. Have good variation, to be quite honest. This court plays slightly different to the Hopman Cup, and at the Hopman Cup also I served really well. So I think I can be very happy how I got out of the blocks from the off season, because I think that's always the most tricky part. Is like, how do you get through your service games, you know, time and time again? Because if you then don't get broken much, or hardly ever, or not at all, well, you have so little pressure on the return game, so you can really try out different things. And I think I started to feel that midway, through the first set already, that it was going to be difficult for Dennis to get in my service game. So that relaxes you from the baseline, and then good things really happen.
On one of the rare occasions your serve was challenged, your serve volleyed, are you comfortable doing that on these courts?
Yes, I mean, I played a lot of serve and volley against Zverev basically the whole match at the Hopman Cup, so I feel like I'm volleying really well. I feel really comfortable at net, and I think also mixed doubles, to be quite honest, helped me, because I served and volley in the mixed doubles all the time, and I spent a lot of time at net. But I've been feeling good at the net for quite some time now, and I think the transition with the sprints and stuff, I feel really good about it. My body's in good shape, and I think it always depends on who you're playing a little bit, depending on how they return as well. It's better or not to serve and volley against certain players. Today I didn't feel really the super urge to do it, and also the way Dennis returns when he does connect, it is dangerous, maybe when you serve and volley. So I only did it in selective times, but look, we'll see who I play and if it can be of good use, but I'm happy I have it in the bag.